आइए.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How do we address you?
Pooja.
Pooja. And the first one is your surname.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Have you appeared before in the civil services?
Yes, ma'am. 2020, I have given my attempt, and this.
Tell me, in India, there are lots of issues related to land holding, land. Okay. So why is there so much of emphasis on land?
Land is one of the primary sources of capital. Either if someone wants to do agriculture or industrial or anything, land is the primary source. And second thing is that provides livelihood, and it is the main source for any person to get any loan or to use as collateral to obtain money. So land basically serves as a capital and also safety. So it is very important for a person to have a backing of land.
Okay, but we have a lot of fragmentation, very small plots, and it leads nowhere. If I have less than half an hectare also, what do I grow in it? Where will I go? So how do you suggest reforming that?
India has the problem of fragmentation, as we know that 86% are held by small and marginal farmers. The problem of small land holdings is it can't grow on a bigger scale, on a uniform quality or mechanization. So for addressing this, we can attempt of land pooling, or we can try contract farming or farmer producer organizations, where we can consolidate the land holdings for a single uniform crop, so that it will provide economies of profits for all the stakeholders.
So we can form a cooperative or something?
Yes.
Otherwise, how will we get it together?
Yes, ma'am. Farmer producer organizations and cooperatives provide a similar platform for the farmers, where we can cooperate.
So tell me about encroachments on land. There are a lot of encroachments. People who don't have anything, they'll encroach and make their own little hut or whatever. So how do you handle this?
Encroachments of land should be addressed by multi-stakeholders. Firstly, it is a duty of the revenue department to get the land records clear and correct on the paper, and we recently have a scheme called Swamitwa, which is using this technology to digitalize land records. And second thing is, there are legal constraints where a person's land is being grabbed. So we have to address it in civil courts, and we have to expedite the process. Third is environmental process, where there are encroachments on the wetlands and all. We have to be taking up in the green tribunals and all, so that we can restore the environmental balance.
So after this digitization, you mentioned it also. Now all the record is available on the computer, right? So why is there fighting still? Because I have got my record right, so no one can access my land. Then what happens?
The records, even though they are being finalized on the digital space, the basic underlying problem is the ownership problem, which has been a root of hereditary and property sharing, which has been under disputes for decades. So this becomes a scope for the civil courts and family courts, which have to be dealing with it, and to make it more clear for the ownership.
Okay, right, sir.
Okay. You are Pooja?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pooja, just listen to me carefully. Many people say that IPS is a glorified Babu service only. If you wish to do real policing, enjoy real policing, join as a sub-inspector of police. Instead of... Pardon me?
I couldn't hear join as a...
Join as a sub-inspector of police and not as IPS. How do you agree or don't agree? What are your views on it?
I feel it has the dimension of working on the field and making the decisions. There are two dimensions. If we are in the position of the IPS, you would be able to take the key decisions of the policing. And for the true policing on the field and true enforcement of law and order, you have to be in the sub-inspector position. So it depends on the person's choice. If he or she really wants to work on the field, she can actually be on the field, or if she is good at decision making, spontaneous decision making, and better in evolving policies of better law and order, I think IPS would be a very good choice.
Okay. Do you know what is CCTNS? I will explain it.
I couldn't.
It is called Crime Criminal Tracking Network and Systems. As an electronics communication person, can you have some input regarding this particular application package, CCTNS?
As I recall, CCTNS is a integrated data repository for using interdepartments like judiciary and police and crime enforcement. For better.
How does it capture data?
Oh, I have no clear idea
Okay,
about
thank
the
you.
input methods.
Yeah, sir.
You belong to Andhra Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Its capital and related headquarters of governance. There is some, which are the places associated with the headquarters of the state government?
Recently we have been seeing that for Andhra Pradesh capital, there are 3 headquarters being proposed. One is Amaravati, other is Visakhapatnam, and third is Kurnool. It is for the purpose of decentralized administration, which they are evolving. They have tried to evolve such 3 headquartered principles.
Do you think this type of decision was logically correct, or it was unnecessary without understanding or without logic? These 3 places have been used, have been selected. What is your opinion?
The logic behind selecting 3 places is actually very well placed, sir, because Andhra Pradesh has been diverse, linearly, geographically it is situated linearly. So for a person on the one edge, it becomes very difficult to reach to the other edge. So having a decentralized capital is ideologically correct, but the problem is we do not have fiscal capacity enough and logistical capacity enough to make it possible, to make it work with utmost convenience, which it is actually intended for.
Still people have to run around.
Yes,
If the headquarters is located at one place, the people could have gone to one place and got the work done, all the 3 types of work done at one place. But now they have to run around for everything, little thing.
Yes.
So this is an unwise decision. Generally, it is said that it is an unwise decision. Now, the one aspect of this decision is that why Amaravati was chosen as the administrative capital. Was it correct decision, or it was faulty from the beginning itself? And give me economic reason for that.
The reasons for Amaravati being chosen in the first place is the geographical situation, which as earlier specified will be utmost center to both the ends of the Andhra Pradesh if we see them linearly. And second thing is it has vast tracts of undeveloped land, which provides them to develop a city with utmost good urban planning, which would be very sustainable for longer term. And third thing is regarding fiscal constraints, if we already have developed places like Visakhapatnam, but considering the future threats of climate change and future threats of being close to the coast, these were the 3 factors which were considered for making Amaravati an ideal capital region.
Amaravati region is supposed to be rice bowl.
Yes, sir.
Rice bowl of not only that region, but of, you can say, prominent place in India also. Why damage those cultivated, high-yielding agricultural land for constructing offices? Why valuable land has been wasted?
Yes,
is it economically correct?
Economically, it had a backdrop in that sense because Andhra Pradesh has been a rice bowl of India, and the fertile Krishna Godavari Delta is a fertile rice bowl. So by choosing Amaravati, we have taken a chance of compromising fertile lands. So in that sense, it would be an economic loss, and in the other sense, we have to develop a capital from the scratch. In that sense, also there are fiscal losses, sir.
Have you been to Amlapuram?
No, sir, I haven't been to Amarapuram,
Huh.
but I'm aware of. I'm aware of the name, sir.
Have you been to East Godavari district?
Yes, sir, I have been to East
You have to
Godavari.
go. Kakinada.
Yes, sir, I have been
You
to
have been
Kakinada.
there. In the river side, in Eastern Godavari, there are two important things. One is a huge economic activities. It produces economic benefits on the near the river side. And there is another issue about cyclone prone area. I would like to know from you, are you aware of these two things?
Regarding the economic aspect of near Kakinada region, it has been economic bowl because of the rich paddy fields, rich coconut fields, and very rich aquaculture. Aquaculture. Inland fisheries being developed in this Kakinada and Amalapuram region. So these are serving as a main drivers of economy.
Hundreds of very large number of area for fish farming.
Huge tracts of ponds are being developed for fisheries.
You have not seen. Have you seen them?
I have seen them.
You have seen them. Okay. The other part about the cyclone affected areas.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that.
There are these villages called Lanka villages, which are on the banks. These are called as in Telugu Lanka Gramalu, which are usually being frequently inundated with water during cyclones. And there is problem of fishermen being lost during cyclones. And one more thing is the people who are cultivating in this coastal region, the soils are easily salinated during the storm surges. So there have been seeing very economic losses in these regions.
Shelter homes, there are large number of shelter homes also constructed in those areas. From cyclone. Whenever cyclone comes, people take shelter in those houses.
I'm not aware of.
You are not aware of. Anyway, it was constructed during Rajiv Gandhi's time.
Actually, I have
the Rajiv Gandhi shelter home.
There is a shelter home in our village in West Godavari also, sir.
So, any prominent person, any prominent politician from East Godavari district, very top ranking politician. Any top ranking politician who died an unnatural death. He died in a plane crash. He died in a helicopter crash.
From Kadapa district, I know Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy has died in helicopter crash.
Okay, yes, but he was not from East Godavari district.
Yeah, I don't know any.
East Godavari district, GMC Balyogi.
Okay.
Later he was Speaker of Lok Sabha.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, Pooja, can you tell me what is the ranking of Andhra Pradesh with regard to number of tribes?
No, sir, I do not know the rankings.
Let's have a look at that. It is number 1.
Okay, sir. That's interesting. I would look at it.
Because you are an anthropology student.
Yes, sir.
I am not talking about tribal population. I am talking about number of tribes, different
diversity
tribes.
of the tribes.
So you have a look at that. Now, why tribal population is important for India, for that matter, any country?
Tribal population speaks about the cultures which are maintaining their own, the sects of people which are maintaining their own culture, unaffected from the other population, and are a rich sources of knowledge and rich sources of sustainable development. For example, the tribal habitations we have been seeing are well protecting the forest lands, animals and plants. And also in recent developments like Ayush, where we are tapping on the traditional knowledge of medicine. So tribal populations are source of all these kinds of economic and cultural and medicinal benefits.
Because they can protect the gene pool also of our natural resources.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, what are the schemes of Government of India which are under implementation in Andhra Pradesh for the welfare of women?
Yes, sir. We have the women health empowering schemes like Poshan Abhiyan. We have Beti Bachao Beti Padhao, and on the level of Andhra Pradesh we have I couldn't recall, sir. Amaravati and Nari programs.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Nowadays, BIMSTEC countries,
Yes, sir.
it has become more important also for India than SARC.
Yes, sir.
SARC is losing its significance and BIMSTEC is taking its place. Can you tell me the reason for that?
BIMSTEC is has started as an economic cooperation. It has these countries which are with close proximity with Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea. It has been gaining prominence because of the reasons that the same reason SARC started losing it. Like we have had issues with Pakistan, which made us postpone the SARC meetings, but BIMSTEC continued.
Okay. Now this International Solar Alliance, it has taken 2-3 important steps in the recent past. Are you aware of that?
We have started one sun, one grid and one energy, where we are trying to connect with the nations until the Africa and until the Eastern Asia.
Another one, just tell me one more.
No, sir, I'm not able.
Okay, no problem. About 2 weeks or 3 weeks back, there was a report of IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So they projected a very grim picture about the climate change, that if we don't act fast, then problem is going to be there very seriously. So can you tell me what was their observation with regard to the reduction in GHG by 2030? What was their recommendation, that how much GHG we should reduce GHG emission by 2030? And do you think India is in a position to meet that stipulation?
I'm not able to recall the metrics provided by
Okay,
IPCC.
no problem. Then India is going to get the leadership of G20 next year. G20, is a very important grouping of all well-developed economies. So how you think India can make use of this opportunity to strengthen or to reinforce its position as a global leader?
G20 can be a platform for various innovative ideologies. India can use G20 as a platform for furthering its economic cooperation, furthering its stance on reforming world bodies like UNSC reformation and United Nations reformation. And G20 regarding current processes with the supply chain disruptions, India can expand its import and export linkages through G20 nations.
Okay. So my last question, Pooja. India, is the 5th largest economy in the world. 5th largest. And still we are a developing country, not a developed world country. How it is so? How can you reconcile these two facts?
There are two factors in this, sir. India has a huge population, so the per capita income will be still low because even we have very high in the economic terms. And a second factor is economic inequality. Recent report shows that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening, Pooja. So I would carry the discussion on Indian economy.
Yes.
So can you briefly do SWOT analysis of Indian economy? Do you know the meaning of SWOT?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes.
May I
please.
take few seconds?
Please.
Yes, sir. Currently, Indian economy is in a dynamic phase post-crisis, and we are trying to reinvent our economy. So our strengths lie in various factors, like India currently is recently IMF has still predicted 8.2% growth of India. And one more thing is we are having a huge FDI, and our exports have been showing consistent, right? So these are the strengths on which India is standing. And the weaknesses are we couldn't develop huge manufacturing sectors in industries like semiconductors, mobile manufacturing, and also in the 5G where other countries are ahead, we are still trying to reel in. And regarding the opportunities, India has very unique opportunities like tourism, cultural development, and organic farming and diversity. There are various reasons, there are various opportunities which by tapping into full we can make them economic. And threats are we have been seeing the Ukraine crisis and post-COVID. Entire world is going under a very unstable phase, and also India is currently seeing a high inflation of 6.1%. So these are the SWOT analysis of Indian economy.
Good. I would like to know your opinion on legalization of cryptocurrency in India.
Cryptocurrency legalization, I guess, would be inevitable in the coming times, where we can draft out proper plan and where we can make legal guidelines proper. And it would be necessary because cryptocurrencies is the place, if not regulated well, will provide lots of space for black market, illegal trafficking. And we also have seen in our budget discussion that we are trying to make revenue out of cryptocurrency. So I think legalization would be better option.
Good. You are an electronics and communication engineer. So can you throw some light on electrical vehicle policy of India?
Yes. India has started very dynamically in these electric vehicles through our policies like FAME and FAME 2. And we are also improving our infrastructure of charging points in every 100 kilometers on the highways. And because of this, we have been seeing increased electric vehicles, and there are reduced emissions. What further we can do is further our international cooperation to increase the speed in this sector. Sir.
Okay, I will go back to your optional subject, which is anthropology. We have seen many problems among tribals in their rehabilitation or resettlement due to development projects in India. So, can you suggest some solutions to this issue?
Yes, sir. As we have seen in the recent LARR 2013 Act, it has been made mandatory that rehabilitation is necessary before the displacement, where you have to make provisions, but it is not being executed properly. Firstly, we should be doing that thing. Second thing is, when we rehabilitate, they shouldn't be made into sporadic settlements, because tribals have a unique culture which would be usually practiced in the large sects of population. For example, Komu dance of Koyas, which are being rehabilitated currently, it is being dispersed because of rehabilitation. Third thing is their nutritional habitats. The displaced place should be nutritionally feasible, and it should have a similar ecological conditions for the tribals to survive in.
Okay, Pooja, tell me why you wish to join civil services.
Civil services has been my childhood dream, sir. So I have been interested in civil services because I have been seeing my father being serving people in state services, which really motivated me. Second thing is I like the diversity of the jobs, which make me go through various interests, which I would be exploring further in my career. And third thing is I would like the financial stability and economic stability it is going to provide for me, sir.
Okay, Pooja, anything you would like us to ask?
No, sir.
Okay. Any topic you think which we should ask a question on?
My hobbies. There were questions weren't covered on my hobbies.
Tell me about any of your hobby or hobbies as to how it will be helpful in administration or civil services.
I make cartoon illustrations, sir. The main theme, my main intention of my cartoon illustrations is to convey things better. So I have been seeing lot of scope of cartoon illustrations to convey to people. First thing is I would like to, when I'm in my field, I would like to convey the career problems and how I traverse them to the public. And second thing is I would like to make things simpler for people, like COVID crisis, economic crisis and investments kind of things, for better administration and understanding of the people.
Thank you.
Just one question. Can you give the name of a very prominent anthropologist of India?
M.N. Srinivas sir.
Also, tell me about any anthropologist from Jharkhand, present day Jharkhand.
No sir, I couldn't recall sir.
Earlier used to be Bihar, but now Jharkhand. He is dead.
Majumdar sir is, no sir.
Dr. L.P. Vidyarthi.
Okay sir, L.P. Vidyarthi sir.
What is his contribution?
I cannot recall.
He worked on some specific tribes in Jharkhand. And anyway.
Malar community, L.P. Vidyarthi sir has.
Do you follow Hindi?
I can follow.
You can follow Hindi. You can write?
No, I can write.
You can write also. So there's a 3-language formula in your state, isn't it?
It is there, ma'am.
So you are a very promising candidate and your linguistic abilities are good. You can express yourself very coherently and you are knowledgeable about your state and your personality is very happy, pleasing, doesn't get tensed up, right? So the other sirs will also say.
When is your interview?
May 23rd, sir.
May to almost towards the close.
Endings.
Almost towards the close. Okay, wonderful. You see, to improve your dialogue delivery, what is required? You should think that you are preparing a PowerPoint program and writing 3 sentences in 3 bullet forms. Only 3, not more. 3 sentences, composing is not a problem, keeping in your head is not a problem, and reeling them out is not a problem. So 3 sentences, start, end, start, end, start, end. When that is there, then your groping for words, that will end. Abhi kya ho raha hai? Half a sentence, you are groping for a word, as a result there is a gap and you have to say, this has to end. It can end, you have enough time, do it. Just 3 sentences, keep it in your mind, reel them out, one by one. In one case, what happened, you started answering and then halfway you decided that you cannot recall. You had almost half answered and then said, no, I am unable to recall. So, that you are not able to recall should be known before you start speaking. Okay? Compose your thoughts well. So, that's one thing which will improve the thing. Then, as an electronic communication person, find out about the CCTNS. Okay? Find out the technical side of it. And of course, the normal which everybody should know. You should know much more than that. You will get more marks if you know much more than what others know. Then only more marks will come. Okay? Thank you. Sir.
Everything is okay, but you may have something in mind that whether it was good that Andhra Pradesh was created and Telangana was separated, whether Andhra Pradesh got further flip economically or not, had it remained with the original Andhra Pradesh, perhaps that could have been also useful. Some people may ask such questions also.
Yes,
how much beneficial it is to bifurcate a state. Anyway, that's it.
Pooja, did you also notice what the honorable member has pointed out? While speaking, your language is good. You speak very good English, very pleasant personality, very confident, no doubt about it. Current affairs, you have to brush up, that is a separate thing. But you just halt in between for searching words to continue. And then it becomes and that, did you notice this?
Yes, sir, I have noticed. I couldn't correct.
Yeah, so only you have to work on that. Otherwise, I didn't find any other thing. That current affair part is okay. That you will, still you have 1 month.
Yes,
but this thing you should work up. Because that is something which brings down your performance. And that you can do because you speak good English, you have got good command over language. But बीच में जो you stop and then look for a word and then और जैसा चेयरमैन मेंबर सर ने बोला कि पहले आप सेंटेंस को जैसा 3 उसको बना लीजिए, उसके बाद शुरू कीजिए. एक दो सेकंड शुरू में लेने में कोई हर्ज नहीं, nobody will mind. If I ask a question, take 2-3 seconds to pause, frame answer, then start. But you start immediately and then pause in between. In between that also, after a completion of a sentence, no problem. But you pause between before the sentence is completed, and that turns into तो वो बड़ा frequent anyway. Please उसको जरा पढ़ना.
Pooja, you were very good in your personality, demeanor, everything. You were very good. As far as scope of improvements are concerned, in my question on SWOT analysis, you told can I have few seconds. Don't quantify the time. It can be a minute also. Sir, can I have some time? So it is better. Secondly, in the last question, when I asked any topic of your choice, it is better to give topic of national or international importance. It will show broad-mindedness. Is hobby relevant to civil services? Really?
Not very much.
Not very much. So it is better to give some national, international topic. For example, we didn't ask too much on international affairs.
Yes, sir.
Or you can bring on social issues, tribes, your areas.
Yes, sir.
So look into that, because these days they are asking this question in almost all the boards.
Okay, sir.
So select some substantive area. Substantive, जैसे इन्होंने बताया, international relations, something like that.
Okay. Thirdly, your answer on why civil service, it was good. Avoid the term childhood dream. Avoid this term. Otherwise, it was good.
Okay, sir.
They just avoid this term and work a bit more on anthropology. It's your optional subject, and sir also asked in the last,
Yes, sir.
and you got actually confused.
Definitely,
Okay.
sir.
Otherwise, overall, it is very good, and you have ample time, and I can definitely see you scoring even 70% in the actual interview. You have that potential.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Wait.
Will I be giving a mark, sir?
Yes, ma'am will give marks.
Well, marks we have assessed at 65% for this interview, which is pretty good.
Thank you, ma'am.
That turns into 178.
Yeah, very good.
178. But as Madam has said, और उन्होंने भी बोला है कि you are capable of scoring much more.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can go up
Do
to
you read
70%.
newspaper?
Yes, sir. I read newspaper.
Which newspaper you read?
I read the Hindu, and I also read a compilation of anything else.
Hindu and?
I read any compilation of
Compilation.
any institutions.
I mean, you have enough time. Read 2 newspapers.
Okay, sir.
Maybe one Times of India or Indian Express or Hindustan Times, and one newspaper which you are already reading.
Okay.
Read two newspapers for updating yourself for in international affairs and Indian economy also. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you,
good